All right, guys, thank you for joining us today. As you can see, this is another uh, female prepper panel or prepper female panel, however you want to say it, or they, them, we panel, whatever floats your boat. No, just kidding. I hate that shit. So, anyway, so with that, guys, as you can see, we have Prepper Princess, Vanity Prepper, My Mother Spark, Angry Homesteader, and Alexandra the Great is running late, so she'll join us when she can. So, guys, tonight's topic is not so much any one thing. It could lead into a rant. We had one going just about a couple minutes ago, a couple seconds ago.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I like to get that. I like to get that story. I was trying to get you to wait till we go live and then like dump on mine. But so starting with Prepper Princess, she did a video that I have to agree with. And I'm guilty of some of the things she has said. That being said, I thought the video was pretty spot on. That guys, before she gets into it, before she starts with it, these channels here, guys, are channels that I actually follow. So I watch Prepper Princess from time to time. I watch everybody from time to time, to be honest with you, because there's too many of us to watch. So if it's a good topic, I'm in on it. A lot of these channels, guys, you should absolutely like and subscribe to. Now, a lot of you know who Prepper Princess is, so that goes without saying. But Vancity, My Mother Spark, Angry Homesteader, and Alexandra the Great is another channel you should be following.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. 1 second, I'm just adjusting my camera. So sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. Very fine. So,
What's going on?
same old shit, different day. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. So,
Thank you for having me.
Princess, please tell us a little more about your video.
Would you like me to just re-rant what I ranted before?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so we were talking about okay. So one of the issues that we're having with the prepper community is first of all the ego of some of these proclaimed awesome preppers, and then the other is the stuff that you don't see behind the scenes. And we've got these other preppers out there, and I absolutely want to call them out by name, but I know it's not the right thing to do. But so I made that video.
Go ahead.
I can't. I can't. I want to. But there's other channels out there. Okay, so I'll give you an example of the gold and silver issue. People keep saying that gold and silver appreciates in value. I paid only $800 for it in 1974, and now it's worth $2,000. Well, if you count the inflation that goes along with the rise in gold prices, you are actually you're getting exactly what you paid for. And people are saying, oh, it's a wealth protector and all this other stuff. No, it's not. You cannot buy gold at spot and sell it for spot. You buy it for money over spot and you sell it for under spot. So you're losing money right there. The freeze-dried food is almost all garbage. I hate all of it. The MREs, Augustin Farms, Mountain House, Thrive Life, it all tastes like crap to me. It's too salty. Backpacker's Pantry. The fruits and vegetables, when you rehydrate them, they're mushy and gross. And I am not a foodie, but all of these channels that say, oh, Prepper Princess was wrong, I love my freeze-dried food. Link in the description box below. That's because they're making money off of these things. Same thing with preppers who push gold and silver. They're like, I don't care where you buy your gold and silver. I'm saving it for this. Link in description box below if you want to go with my affiliate. Well, that affiliate is paying that prepper in gold. So that prepper is making money off of each time that you make a sale, but they're not saying that in all of their videos. They're getting free gold and silver while you have to pay for it. When it comes to generators, so I'm not going to say the product or anything like that, but generator companies, and I love generators. I love doing product reviews, but I make more money doing product reviews that get the least amount of views than I make on YouTube itself. So if you get a company who is doing they reach out to me and they're like, we want to send you our product for free. It's valued at $2,000. You're like, okay, cool. By the way, we're going to pay you $2,000 to make this video. So I have the option of selling that unit for $2,000 and making a video for $2,000 for a $4,000 payday. And what happens is if the unit sucks, these preppers will come on there and say that it's an awesome unit because they got a huge payday, and they're afraid that if that company makes another unit in the future, that they won't want to work with them because they gave them a poor product review. So they'll go over all the great stuff that has to go with this product, and they'll be like, link in description box below. And sometimes you get a commission with those too. So the more product you sell, the more money you make. Now, I make money off of my stuff, but I am completely honest with my reviews. If this thing is a piece of crap, Oakmo, by the way, piece of crap. If this thing's a piece of crap, then go ahead and don't buy it. But here's the link anyway, because I have to put it in there, and it's a piece of crap. But all of these preppers are coming out and they're saying, okay, you can sell you sold your guns at the wrong time. And it's like, okay, well, I've had these guns for 15 years. In that 15 years, which day would have been the best day to get the most amount of my money? And no matter what preppers tell you, if you buy a gun, you wait a year and then you sell it next year, you're going to sell it for half of what you paid for it. They all depreciate in value unless it's a famous gun that like killed Lincoln or something. So you're being lied to. You're being lied to.
Good point.
Now, you know what I found interesting, because I was shocked like everybody else when you said that you were getting paid for it. I'm like, I don't get paid for these things. They're like, hey,
you have to ask. They don't just tell you we'll pay you. They say we want to give you a free product. Will you do a review? And you say yes. They're like, then usually they'll send an email just so we're on the same page. You'll make a new video for the free product, right? And you say yes. But if you go back and say to them, thanks for the offer, but I charge $1,000 per video, they'll be like, okay, we'll either pay you $750 or that's acceptable. How do you take payment? And then you have to be really careful with these companies and make sure that they pay you before you put the video out, and say, I'm not going to put out the video until you pay me, by the way, because you will get screwed. But because these are all third-party companies.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah, so you have to make sure that they pay you before you publish the video. I'm actually waiting for a payment right now.
Wow.
Okay.
But you have to tell them I charge this much per video.
No shit.
Yeah.
See, I don't
negotiate.
No, not that I don't care that much. You know, like if it's a decent product, like Okomo is pretty shitty. But
it's a fire hazard.
Okay, that I didn't know. Thank you for telling me. But like the other one I have Rock Pals here. A couple of them, they're decent for what they are, right? I never I watched the YouTuber say, yo, these solar generator, I forgot which one it was. He was trying to sell it like it was gonna save your life. And I'm like, no, it's gonna, like for kids, it's gonna keep entertainment going a little longer. You might get that little mini fridge that you're running a little longer, but it's not gonna save your life or make life that much easier. It's just gonna make it a tad easier. Yeah. But with that being said, let's jump around the screen. But thank you for that. I did appreciate that that rant again, because again, it was spot on. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed a couple of the rebuttal videos too, because I think you hit a nerve when you mentioned some shit about like the military gear and the tactical training part, the gunfight. Because I'm like, listen, I was an EMT. I've watched a lot of shootings go down, and shit doesn't go down like it does in the movies. It just doesn't. The way people move, it's not like John Wick. This isn't the Matrix. You get hit in a certain spot, you're not flying 10 feet, back. You could drop right to the ground. So a lot of realistic shit people don't realize, and they just don't live in that world. So moving right along, it's Miss Vancity or Miss Vancity Prepper. Have you gone on any adventures lately since the last time we did our live stream?
Well, we've relocated to our bug out homestead in northern British Columbia. So it's very remote, and that's been an adventure, getting it all set up. We just built this room that I'm sitting in, and just today started putting stuff in it. So if anyone happens to see, if they want to see it get filled up, that's coming next.
Very good.
Yeah.
Alexandra the Great, what have you been up to since we last spoke?
Oh my gosh, so much. My work's been crazy. Gong show. I actually changed my position today. Started Monday. Gonna get more money, and then gonna become a forklift trainer as well, which I always wanted to do. And then I've been rotating a lot of my stocks, going back to prepping. Rotated so much stocks, like insane. I didn't realize how much stuff I have, and I said, do you remember I did this 1 week like living of my stock ups, right?
Yeah.
And it's actually keep going. This is like the third or fourth week, literally. And I'm still eating certain things. I'm putting cans that has been like few months before, best before. So I think couple of more weeks, I'm gonna like eat all the things that are really need to be eaten. And I've been rotating, I've been reorganizing things. And I got some few things more to buy, and I want to reorganize my shed for winter because winter is coming, right? So there is stuff that I can keep there for winter, and don't bother that, like it's really extremely like hot here in BC. It's insane, and it's kind of getting colder now, but we had really hot summer, and you don't want to keep certain things in the shed when it's really really hot, right? And then on top of that, I got some more books. I got a book on canning.
Okay.
Good for you.
Like from scratch, because I literally have no idea. I tried to do it before, but apparently it was fucking disgusting when some people tried. So I'll do it again. And what else I've been doing? I've been catching up as much on certain channels, but there was a few times when I did take a break from YouTube for a few days, because sometimes you just need your me time, Just because I'm not on a YouTube for a few days doesn't mean that I am not doing it anymore, or I'm not a prepper. Sometimes you just need to step away, kind of recharge your batteries. And I think lately, I don't know if you guys noticed, do you think that we are so bombarded, like in media, in TV, with stuff that don't really matter, to kind of divert our attention from what is really going on behind the screens? Because I see, when I go to the store, I constantly see like shelves being even more empty and not being restocked. People are falling asleep even more, and it does break my heart when people don't listen. They don't want to wake up. They don't want to become a prepper. And yeah, for what else I've been up to, I've been watching you lovely ladies. I know I don't always comment, but I do watch. I am so tired. Literally, I got this.
There we go. There we go.
I'm exhausted, guys. Like it's been gong show at my work. But yeah, and it's gonna be even more from next week, because I'm gonna do even more stuff. But I am also very blessed and privileged, because as a single mother, I am comfortable, and that gives me an option to go and buy stuff, to go and stock up, to go and prepare. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, but I'll let you ladies speak, and we will talk more later, okay?
Very good. So, my mother Sparkle, thank you for that. Also, by the way, guys, again, do me a favor. I do appreciate the donations, but if you can give it to bravestforchoice.org, that would be even more appreciated. That's a thing.
Can I jump in with that, actually? Because I watched a video, and I'm not trying to say, oh, look what I'm doing. Absolutely no. But as a prepper, I don't like to waste money on bullshit. And I thought to myself, it literally broke my heart that those people put their life on the line, and now they are struggling. That is bullshit. So I did like a monthly donation for a few months.
Okay.
Instead of one.
Right.
If it's better for some people, right?
Yes, it is. And then I appreciate that. Thank you. again, so that's the reason why, guys, is these people are not working and they are told they can't work until they are fired. So imagine that, right? Imagine being fucking told you couldn't work because you didn't want some shit, and now you got to wait till you either fired or you get back on. Hopefully, the latter happens than the first choice. But with that, my mother Sparks, what have you been up to? And I know that we talk a little more constant, but what have you been up to?
Lots of working. On my days off, I am up in the morning and I am canning and dehydrating and rotating and organizing. And this last weekend, and a lot of editing because I'm trying to push videos out to encourage people to go do the same things.
Okay.
But this last weekend, I just did a day trip to the farmer's market because our grocery stores here were pretty gross and pretty expensive for next to nothing. So I was trying to show people your farmer's market, you can get a whole lot more food that's a lot better. You're supporting your local farmers. And I spent so much money. They had to carry the veggies and fruits to my truck because it was just so much. But just doing the things that need to be done. I'm exhausted too. I'm like Alexandra. I'm so tired from just keep pushing through.
Well, it seems like things are going to speed up a little bit for the next couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Only time will tell. I mean, that's the thing. There's so many channels telling us that this is going to happen on this day, and you're scaring the shit out of people who are like looking to prep, but now they're like the 24th. What the fuck? I don't have any time. So now they panic and then they don't do anything. And listen, again, I'm guilty of that as well. When I first started prepping, I thought the EMP was going to happen tomorrow. And so every day I was buying a shitload of MREs and shit I didn't need, like Prepper Princess was saying, shit I didn't need. I was just, buying it. And now I got so much shit. I think my wife is ready to torch the apartment because she's tired of the shit. So, but listen, that's the other thing too. I think most preppers, at least, I don't know how it is with women, but I know with guys, I became a gearhead. So I look for any reason to buy a bag. To buy a chest plate. Now I'm buying a new one to work out with. Like I said, I buy shit for no reason. So with that, Angry Homesteader, are you a gearhead or are you more focused on the food, water aspect of it?
The food and water. My husband is more of the gear for protection. I bought 2 1,000-gallon water tanks, knowing that this was, once it went out, what is that called? When it went on Dow Jones or on the market, then I knew we were going to see something major when it came to water. So I hurried up and got on that. And definitely food. Every time I go shopping, I'm always getting something. I'm always canning something, always putting food away. That's all that's on my mind. My mind switched to complete survival now. And I don't like the word prepper. I guess it's okay, but they put such a dark word on that or dark connotation on that. My daughter is actually the one who told me, she said, "Mom, you're a prepper." And I said, "No, I'm not. I'm just preparing." It's the same thing. I'm like, yeah, I guess, I am, I guess. But yeah, my mind switched completely to survival. And that's what I do every single day. Preparing, studying, doing things just to prepare.
Well, very good. It's funny because I'm the only one in the household that does it, right? So I'm trying to do both the food and water, and then again find a bullshit reason to buy some piece of gear. And you know what? Because she's not watching this, it usually works. I'm like, damn it, that we need this bag for that situation, and she's like, yeah, really? And I go, okay, maybe she's not buying it anymore, but at least she's pretending to buy it. But
she's pretending. From a woman's perspective, she's pretending.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, I like to think I was at least getting one over how when it came to the gear, but I guess not. Whatever. With that, guys, we have a lot of things going on all at once. I mean, it's like some shit out of a movie we used to watch when we were a little younger, early 2000s. You listen on the radio, all the bullshit that was happening in the background in the movie, and it seems like we are sitting in that very same situation to that slow burn to whatever it is. Starting with Angry Homesteader and going back the other way now, what do you think is going to be the catalyst for the shit hits the fan?
I think it might be the trains. I think because they're pushing it out instead of signing anything for an agreement. When the food stops coming in completely or more massive, I think people are going to get desperate. I'm seeing more and more people being angry. And in fact, today I was out by Walmart and there was a guy that was hitting, kicking, screaming, and he ended up actually pounding my car. And I'm always carrying, but that's not the time to do it. So I just pulled out and moved away from him. We're just seeing more and more EBT system crash. Oh,
yeah, it's always something. My Mother Spark, what do you think is going to be the catalyst to the shit hits the fan?
I think for a complete SHTF, it's going to be a grid down because too many people are dependent on technology. They don't know how to do things for themselves anymore. It's just skills are gone. I think that's going to make everyone all the way around. As far as the start of a civil SHTF, I think if they try to lock people down again, that's going to start definitely an uproar because I don't think people are going to have it. They're not going to do it again.
No, I don't. I agree with you. I definitely think that we're definitely going to, if they try that, it's going to be a problem. I think if Trump winds up running, if he even just announces running, we're going to see a lot of, like I was saying yesterday or last night, we're going to see a lot of pocket fighting throughout the country. Alexandra the Great, what do you think is going to be the catalyst?
I think there's one thing that I honestly believe in it, that more and more people are going to get sick. There's going to be lots of people dropping. And we all know why. Because it's kind of already happening, but I feel like it's going to happen on a bigger scale because I read in the news yesterday here in Canada that, they're rolling out the magic potion again, and this and that. And, people are wearing muzzles all the time. And it's like, it's going to catch up with you one day. One day you're just going to get fucked up, excuse my French. And I feel like when that's going to start happen, there will be labor shortage. So who's going to do stuff around when there's no people?
Okay, makes sense.
And obviously, I agree with the food shortages. It's a slow burn. They're not going to do it super fast, but most people are going to get just boiled like frogs, literally, like slowly, And it's a combination of things. I think you're right. The trains, the food shortages, another bullshit thing that people are gonna get sick from, and the stupidity of people. The stupidity of people, that is gonna be the biggest catalyst because they're not gonna think. They're just gonna go with all the bullshit, and that's it. You're gone. You know what I mean, or not? Like they're not gonna be awakened. They're not gonna know how to react to certain things.
No, yeah.
Can't fix stupid, right?
No, you definitely can't fix stupid. Real quick, guys, Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival Wednesday nights. I think it's 7:30. He has something called "We're All Gonna Die Wednesdays." It is pretty fucking good. No, I'll have it later. I think it's good conversation. That's for one. Him and Livingston, man, have great conversation. So you should absolutely watch that. And I love the whole "we're all gonna die" bullshit. I think that's I just get a kick out of every time people say that. Vancity, from your perspective, what do you think is going to be the kickoff to us killing each other in the middle of the street? Shit hits the fan.
Finance collapse, a collapse in the debt market, with the rise of the U.S. dollar against other currencies. It'll put pressure on all the nations with dollar-denominated debt, and these countries will not be able to pay their debts, and the currencies will collapse, causing mass SHTF within each country and huge civil unrest. The currencies will rapidly devalue against goods and services, and it'll just get worse and worse and worse. What we're already seeing, a slow slide into major problems.
Well, and nicely put. Nicely put. I like that. Thank you. Prepper Princess, what is your? I'm really, really curious to know your viewpoint on this.
I don't really know how to put it into words. I think it's a little bit of a combination everyone in here talked about. I don't know, whether you hate Trump or you love Trump, when he was president, we had a boosting economy. Everything was great. We were having really good delegations with China and Russia and everything else, despite what everybody thinks. But, and another, I don't even know how to get into it. So, like Angry Homesteader was saying, if you take away EBT from half of the citizens who are using EBT now, it's like literally 50% of people are living off of the government. If you take away that free money, it's complete chaos in the streets. And that's actually why welfare and EBT did not go away years ago. Riots, chaos in the streets. Also, the devaluation of the dollar. It could get to the point of hyperinflation. They just raised interest rates again. That way, people can no longer afford homes or afford homes that they want. So a lot of more people are renting, and then with the rent, people are not paying their rent, and it's going into a vicious cycle because our laws are becoming much more liberal, and we're no longer the self-reliant country that we used to be. We now rely on foreign countries for all of our products, all of our medications, all of our prescriptions, all of our oil. We're not self-sufficient. And the everyday man, the everyday person who thinks that they're self-sufficient, but we're not. Nobody can be. I don't think anyone can be 100% self-sufficient in this day and age. And it's ridiculous. Like, it's a million things bubbled, and the bubble just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's eventually going to pop. I don't know if it'll happen in my lifetime, but I feel bad for all my nieces and nephews.
Yeah, I look at it that way. I'm like, my kids are gonna have to deal with this shit, not me. But I mean, on a grand scale, there's so many different things happening, and I think there are things that are happening that we're not being told. And that's in regards to whatever the Earth is going through, what might be out in space headed towards us, whether that's a meteor, some kind of cosmic gas. It could be anything at this point. I mean, like, I entertain it all just because I'm like, we don't know. I love when channels sit here and go, this is going to happen, and I guarantee it. And then 10 years later, something happens to go, remember 10 years ago when I made a video on, motherfucker, you were lucky. That's what it came out.
Yeah.
And it's just, whatever. It's asinine. So, with that being said, with the you guys answering the kickoff or the catalyst to the Shit Hits the Fan, do you think, now we're going to start with Prepper Princess because we're going back the other way, because I'm scared to jump around the screen because I'll fuck it up and forget somebody. So I have to, do the idiot back and forth kind of deal. Do you guys think that if we do enter a Shit Hits the Fan scenario, how long could you last personally with everything you have set up now?
If I am left alone, I can survive indefinitely. As for my pets, I can't guarantee their safety with the heat that happens here.
Okay.
But if I were to go to my bug out location, indefinite, as long as I'm left alone.
Okay, so when you mean left alone, you mean like fighting with somebody or taking somebody in?
No, not taking somebody in. Like, if I'm taken by a group of 50 men, there's nothing I can do about that. If somebody comes in and takes my property while I'm out fishing or hunting, there's nothing I can do about that. As long as there's no conflict, no violent conflict, I can last indefinitely.
Okay. All right, that's I like that answer, by the way. Vancity, you're up.
I think we could last years. We are off grid, except, okay, we have electricity, so okay, everyone's gonna say, oh, you're not off grid, but We're off grid already for sewer and water, and we have 4,600 gallons of water on site. And we grow food. The other half of the channel is a large-scale livestock and arable farmer. We've got a lot put back. We have the medical thing under control. We're already in our bug out homestead, which is in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, we've got a lot put back.
Very good. Someone said, "Wow, 4,600 gallons. Yeah, that is a lot of water." I am definitely impressed about that. Alexandra, how long could you last once the shit starts?
So with all my stock-ups and medicine and my son Pathers, I actually just got a refill because he's got a little asthma, so I have to think about it too.
Okay.
About a year and a half, we would have to obviously ration, but yeah, I do have a lot of stuff. When it comes to water, I do not have a barrels outside. I'm still renting, although I take care of the whole house. But I do have water filtration system, so I have lots of live stroke, not just one, which would last me for thousands and thousands of liters of water to drink. And I do have some tablets to clean the water and the crazy cat bottle just in case, you know. So it would be hard. I'm not going to say, hey, you know, like, oh, shit hit the fan, I'm a prepper, now I'm fine. No, it would be like, I will get pissed off at first, right? If something really happened and be like, fuck. Probably I would sit down and drink wine and then write down things, chill, and then spring into action. Now, what do we do? How do we do things? Again, if we stay here, electricity is a tricky one. But, you know, when I was growing up, I remember my mother couldn't afford a bill. And for 2 months in an apartment, we lived without electricity.
Really?
And we had a gas stove. Yes, I went through so much shit in my life. So this what's happening here, like right now, the food shortage not yet scares me, not yet. But you know, I do have a military grade wool blanket. You know, for me, it's all about the will. It's all about the mindset. I'm like this. I want something, I get it. I want to get through something, I fucking do it. I will scream and kick and I will swear and you know, but I will get through it. End of story. There is no other way. So again, with my stock ups, my food stock ups, my eggs and everything, year and a half for sure, you know. With bagging out and something, honestly, there is a will, there is a way. I have so much land here in BC, and I'm sure I can find a solution. Growing up so simple and primitive, like I did, without a toilet, without the running water. There's always a way. I'll let, unless someone comes and attack me. But I do have an axe and a baseball bat in my car, and I love people. I'm a peaceful person. But if you want to fuck with me, I will fuck you up, and I will be very upset about that after because I'm a human being. But I will fucking defend myself.
Very good. My mother Spark. How long could you last?
I'm with Prepper Princess as far as it depends on the conflict that's around us. We're as long as everything stays pretty kosher around us, we're good for probably a year or two. But if conflict starts, even though we have a pretty diverse background as far as career training and so forth, if things got bad here, of course we'd have to leave like everybody else. But to stay put here, we'd be good for, I'd say, at least a year or two. Our neighborhood is pretty tight knit, so thankfully our neighbors, we know each other. We talk often, so we kind of have each other's backs for the most part here, which allows us to stay here just a little bit longer if we had to.
Now I have to ask this question then: are your neighbors, are they prepared too, or no?
I believe we have a couple that are for sure, and the reason I say that is because they do the general halls for quiet preppers where they bring their stuff in at night.
Okay.
So We've seen them do this a couple times. Plus, they always stay put for like hurricanes and major storms and so forth. So they have to have some kind of preparation to be able to sit those things through and have that type of mindset.
Okay. Well, because I only ask that because when people become desperate, your best friend's going to throw a knife in your back to get whatever you have. Especially if they have kids and their kids are starving and they don't want to watch their kids starve. Your best friend will become your enemy in the drop of a hat. That's not saying all the time, but I'm just saying most people have or some people rather, have the propensity to become a motherfucker at a moment's notice when their interest or their life is being threatened.
People will stab your back in good times.
That is right.
This is
Exactly.
true.
Yeah. So imagine bad times. Yeah. So angry homesteader, you?
We are figuring about 2 years. The last thing I have not gotten yet is we do have water filtration, but I want water filtration for the big tanks that we have. But we do have neighbors who do have our back, not all of them. We have one neighbor that is not awake to what is going on. So I have to be careful with them, but they have a 6-year-old child. And I'm not going to, I can't see myself seeing a 6-year-old child starving. They're the ones that have only like 3 days worth of food. And I'm kind of worried. And they can see us coming in and out. So I'm trying to be careful with that, but about 2 years.
Okay. Well, I'm in the same boat with a couple of you. We got about 2 years worth of stuff. I keep buying stuff, which I didn't notice it till the other day. I keep buying things and throwing it into the other closet. I looked the other day, I did the calculations, like, oh shit, we're about 2 years, 2 years and 2 months. I know that the timetable for me is like when I get to, for example, hypothetically speaking, something happens and now we're completely reliant on the food between the storage unit and here. Storage unit, I would have to bring every last piece of canned good and food into the apartment. But I'm not going to be trekking back and forth to the storage unit. Someone's going to catch on at some point. But that's if we stay here. My first immediate response is to get the fuck out of here. Pack one of the closets up, all the food, and head to whoever property or whatever property I might be obtaining in the near future. That's the plan. But yeah, it sucks because when you look at certain people like, Prepper Princess or a couple of other preppers where they got a few years worth of food because they're in a situation that allowed them to gain that supply. They got gardens. Some people even have livestock. So, and if you have livestock, I think you are in a better position, but you're also at a higher risk of being seen, because people who are hungry, they're going to see that cow, they're going to hear those chickens, they're going to come knocking on your door. So there's ups and downs to all of it. None of it is a guaranteed survival, but a lot of it is going to make your survival a lot easier down the line. Yeah. So, okay, so this question, because it's popping up a little more frequent now because of what Putin said last night or earlier this morning. What do you think is the likeliness of us seeing a nuclear war within the next few years? And I'm going to top it out at 5. Angry Homesteader, what do you think?
I wasn't worried about it at first. I was kind of like you, taking it nonchalant. We've been having that threat since the 50s, right?
Right.
So I wasn't worried, but because of the stuff that's going on between our president and him, it's like someone's going to pop off, and that's all it will take. But I think it's going to take, I don't know. I don't know how close we are. I would say pretty good in a few years, but the way we are going, things are moving pretty fast now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So if we do, I'm totally screwed. So
We all are.
We all are. Yeah. That's nuclear winter right there for the whole country.
Right. And I'm in New York, so yeah, I'm already glowing in the dark. Even if
I'm right by Vegas, so I'm screwed.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we're both dead. And you guys can, come to our home and take our shit if it's still standing.
yeah, we're all gonna die.
Yeah. But it's funny, man, because the nuclear thing, I'm still not even like, when I'll get concerned when he's like, I'm launching the missiles. Then I'll get concerned. Up until now, I'm just like, our parents went through this shit. Or when they were kids, rather, sorry. A lot of our parents went through this whole thing of hide under the desk. We could have a nuclear war at any minute now, and they've been beating that drum forever, right? Now we are back in that same boat. And I'm just like, listen, dude, if you're going to fucking launch. If not, shut up and move on to something else, you know? Or the constant threatening of people, at some point, you're going to shit or get off the pot. And I think he's going to get off the pot. I don't think he's going to launch, at least not soon. But if a couple of things I hope don't happen, we could probably see, at the very least, tactical nukes being used in Europe somewhere. My Mother's Park, what do you think?
I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow, but I actually do think it's going to happen. A lot of people, when they think nuclear war, they think that he's going to blow up the entire United States, and I don't see that happening.
Right.
But I do see strategic hits, and I think that includes off of our coasts, because a lot of people don't realize that even if they launch and hit off of our coast, it's going to affect us severely. Maybe not the whole United States, but it is going to affect our water, our food, our supplies, worse than they already are. So I do think it's coming. Also, with most of our higher up people that are in power being on their way out for whatever illnesses, I think that the chances are more likely, because they're not really going to give a shit what happens, because they're not going to be here anyway.
Agree.
Yep, that makes sense. Alexandra, what do you think the likeliness of a nuclear war or a device being used?
War, a huge war. I don't think it's gonna happen on a worldwide scale, but a hit, absolutely. A small, again, strategic hit would definitely do it. But so going back, I've been a prepper all my life. In 2017, I don't know if you guys remember, North Korea was threatening, right? They're gonna strike Guam, right? And they threatened you so much on media that literally I was like, oh my God, it's gonna happen. Oh my God, we're gonna get fucked up. And I was looking at when we can, where can we go to avoid the radiation, right? But nothing happened. So you have to consider all the possibilities. I don't think the whole world is gonna get messed up with nuclear weapons, because, looking at the history of what happened in Hiroshima, and I don't know if you guys read the report, you must be some real crazy motherfucker to do this to people, because this is bad. People gonna burn alive, kids, people, no. I think, he might do a small nuke to do a target, maybe not civilians, but some governments or whatever. But I don't want to think that it's gonna happen on a world scale, because if it does happen, then we're all fucked. There's nothing we can do. And I also do think the fear mongering that is going on is the ultimate control of people. That is one of the tactics they use. So people are scared and stop thinking, stop reasoning, and just enslave. Because if he really, really wanted to do it, maybe he would have already done it. But it's like in Poland, we have a saying, the cow that moves a lot gives fuck on no milk, right? So if you talk too much and do nothing, you basically just scaring people. But on the other side, a small nuke attack might happen in the next few years, but I don't think it's gonna happen all throughout the whole world. That would be just too much, honestly, and I hope aliens will get freaking involved if that shit happens.
Yeah.
Very good.
You're like, humans, why are you so stupid? Party is over. You're fucking each other up.
Well, it's because I was trying to think rationally, right? I'm trying to think nuclear war. I think everybody's seen war games. I don't give a fuck what country you live in. Everyone has seen war games at some point, or at least heard of it. And guess what, man? They couldn't win fucking tic-tac-toe or chess, right? So being that no one was able to win in either of those cases when a computer was computing, everybody knows that nuclear war or all-out nuclear war is a lose-lose for everyone. So even if North Korea, for example, launched because they want to be recognized as a superpower too, because now it turned into a dick measuring contest with North Korea, it still won't turn into an all-out nuclear war, right? Someone will retaliate against North Korea, and then that'll be it. But we'll probably still feel the effects of that no matter where. I think a nuclear weapon hitting any country on this planet is going to affect the economy either way, and we're going to feel it through that measure. Vancity, do you think we're going to see anything in the next few years involving a nuclear war?
Yeah, I think the probability is high. Of course, there are no certainties, just probabilities, and NATO has definitely encroached too far east, and I mean nobody knows for sure, but Putin is not joking. He's serious.
Yes, but you know what? To be fair, he's been serious for the last 20-something years, 30-something years. And people are like, oh, we shouldn't play with Putin because, and I don't know, the Putin from 20 years ago, I think he would have done something already. This Putin now, the sick one, who the fuck? I mean, that's the thing. Who knows? He could wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what? Fuck it, let's annihilate the Ukraine. I mean, he could. Hey, listen. Like you said, it's hard to figure out what's it's going to be because we don't know. We don't know who the fuck's going to launch. We don't know if anything's going to happen at all. I mean, well, we can go the next 10 years talking this shit,
But what we can do is we can at least have indoor gardens. So if we ever had to bunker in for a while, we have green stuff growing, vegetables and stuff growing inside. So why not do that, right?
Good.
That is a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
I said I was going to do the what's that? The grow bags. I'm looking to do that. I am so sure I start a grow bag in here. I'm getting kicked out of this apartment, but it's something to try. But whatever. Prepper Princess, what do you think?
No, I don't think so. I'm not really that bright of a person, but I'm bright enough to know that any nuclear attack could not just take out a region, but it does have the potential to send the whole climate out of whack and possibly end humanity altogether. And if I'm not really that smart, but we've got these world leaders who are, I hope, a lot smarter than me, they know that too. And yeah, they're threatening people, but I think that they also know the implications of what would happen if they did do that. They could potentially end the world. And I'm hoping that they're smarter and sane enough to know not to do that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Hoping.
Right. When like politics, like I guess world leaders, yes, because some of the politicians are doing shit that you're like, how the fuck is this guy leading anybody's state or city?
They're just doing what they're paid to do. Politicians get paid millions of dollars from companies that are degradation of our entire species, and it doesn't matter because they're getting paid. So they're just making their political decisions based on who pays the most.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you're right about that because
Insane.
Listen, some of the shit that we're just seeing them do, like what's going on with Illinois and Chicago, makes no fucking sense. Telling criminals, listen, you have a good chance of getting out after raping that chick. Don't worry about it. We're by your side. And, and the fact that that's even a question, like in New York, as it stands, you rape somebody, you're locked up until you get a trial. In Illinois, they're like, well, the judge has to deem it so. Why the fuck does he have to deem it so? That means politicians allow this to happen. With that being said, what do you guys think about the whole Illinois issue? And do you see that being a nationwide, not a worldwide, nationwide issue? Prepper Princess, you're up.
Can you go to me last? Okay. We have all these laws that are taking our country in a backwards direction. Our country was based on faith and principles and morality, and our country is going in a way that does not. It's not moral. It's just not right. It's not with those Christian values that we're based upon. It's not what those moral values were based upon. Not just what's going on in Chicago, but in California, they're allowing people to steal $950, and if you steal less than that, they won't even arrest you. So what happens when the laws make it so, let's say I'm a professional thief, and that's what I do for a living. So if I can get away with it in California and they don't even stop me, or they'll arrest me in Tennessee and I'll go to prison for 5 years, where do you think I'm going to go? I'm going to go to California. So these politicians that are creating these laws in these little pockets of America, California, New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Houston, stuff like that, where these pockets of laws are making it easier for criminals to get away with things, those are going to become the most dangerous places in our country. And that's where all of the bad people are going to go. So I don't really know. I mean, there's nothing that the average Joe can do about it unless you get into politics, but then you're just going to get paid $10 million to look the other way. And I don't really have any, there's nothing I can do about it. I think it's wrong, but I don't live in Chicago. And I would love there to be a law made where citizens can make arrests, or citizens can, get away with punishing immoral people. Me personally, I would love to get into a fist fight with somebody who treats somebody else like crap. Like, hey, let's get together and sign these waivers so I can beat the crap out of you and you can't do anything. Like, I would love to be able to do that, but people don't want to get involved because they're afraid of the repercussions of the good guy and then the bad guy getting away with it.
Yeah, and it's funny because right now I'm at a level, at least here in the city, street justice, and that's the only answer right now, because the whole telling a cop, and the cop's like, well, we really can't do anything because, well, they didn't really do anything that bad, and they're gonna get kicked loose in 3 hours, So if citizens take back the street by, building a bat and naming it Lucy and whacking every fucking dude that comes across them the wrong way.
Well, that's what they did. That's what they're doing in Venezuela. Venezuela has the hyperinflation, the economy collapsed. But if you go into a shop and you steal something, you're going to be beaten to death by 20 people who just saw you steal it. I want that to happen in this country. If I see somebody getting raped, I want to be able to kill that guy without getting any repercussions. If I see somebody stealing, I want to beat the crap out of them. It's not right that we just have to sit back and watch these things happen. It's a degradation of our morals as a country.
Big time. And I agree. Broken fingers and fucking bag of lime and a shovel, man. Fix everyone's problem, Vancity Prepper, what do you think?
Yeah, it's probably a starting ground that's going to spread to other states, and we're in Canada, so it's a little different here, but it's mental, and it's probably going to happen.
Now, are you guys seeing anything similar to what we're seeing here in the United States?
Well, things are not going in a better direction, that's for sure. Things are definitely getting worse.
Okay. And Alexandra the Great, you're in California. Sorry, you're in you're in Canada as well. So, do you see any kind of liberal, out of control laws defending criminals in the area you are in Canada?
Knowing our beloved in bracket leader, he would come up with something like that. I think he would. He's so unpredictable, and he's like, Canada is forgiveness and this and that. I mean, he gave like $1 million to a guy who was some kind of terrorist before. Excuse my French, I said that word, but whatever it was, I don't know the whole story, but I feel like it could happen. What's happening in Chicago, I think it's another form of population control. This didn't work well. This didn't work well. Let's just do this way, right? Let's get the people gone different way, because it's going to be a lot of crime. There is going to be so much crime. It's insane. And then, here in BC, it's a little bit different where I live. I don't know, because I live in such a nice area, it's almost like I live in this bubble, you know what I mean? But there is a lot of crazy people too. in Canada. In every country, there's crazy people, right?
Yeah.
And I think this could happen. Here, people are so kind of nice and obedient. That's how I perceive. I see US more like violent, more violence. Do you know what I mean? Rather than here. But I think he could do that. He could do that, say, oh, this offense is not good. We're not gonna proceed with jail time or something. From what he's done in the past, I definitely see that happening. On a smaller scale, more gentle scale, but yeah, I see it. I don't know, Van City Prepper, like if you really agree with me on that, but yeah, I think it could happen.
There's this, we're headed in the trajectory in Canada to stop the ability for self-defense, because the whole firearm issue is completely different here. The things that people in America are worried are coming down the pipe, we already have. Everything has to be licensed. There's 2 types of licenses you have to have, depending what you want to have, and they're trying to prevent Canadians from buying handguns so that we can't defend ourselves at all. And you see that in places like England. So the trajectory of inability to defend ourselves is there, and I don't necessarily think the population is different. It's just that we don't you can't carry in Canada and stuff like that. So I think it's more that the laws have restrained it, not necessarily that the people are behaving differently.
Yeah. We also have less people than states, for example, right? Because most of our population is from the state's border to 200 kilometers up north, right? So if anything like this really bad happen, you're kind of more safer up north, like real up north. You know what I mean? But
that's where we are, and it's way more wild. The people are more wild up here.
Mm-hmm. I'm so tired, guys. I do apologize if I don't make any sense. I'm exhausted.
That's fine. My mother Spark, what do you think?
I think these little laws that they've done over the last couple of years are actually, they're trying to get this purge type thing across the United States. The first law that really threw me for a loop was when I think it was Washington State legalized a bunch of hard drugs. And I was like, what in the world are they doing? And then the whole thing with California with legalizing, or not legalizing, but you're not going to get arrested if you steal less than $900. And then Jason, you had a video about how you have houses there in New York where people can go in and shoot up with medical staff there with no issues. And this is going to cause all of our crime rates to go up. And they're trying to get the crime rates, I think, to go up across the United States because, like Prepper Princess said, people are going to start taking it into their own hands. It's going to save the government money. It's going to save the prisons money because they're not going to have these people in here to have to take care of. And they're going to try to force a purge on a large scale. But I don't think it's going to work because, like where I am in the South, we're not going to put up with that. You're not going to come in here and legalize some of these things because your country boys and your country girls, they are not going to tolerate it because we have those original morals, those original values that most people grew up with, and we're just not going to stand for it. So I think they're going to push for this purge type thing across the United States to save themselves money. But I don't think they're going to succeed in it, honestly.
Angry Homesteader, what do you think?
I agree 100% with my mother Spark. I think it's a big purge, so they don't have to worry about it. We will take care of ourselves. And I do think it's going to be across the board. I'm already seeing, as you know, how Seattle was. I'm about 50 miles south of that. So it's a different mindset exactly where I'm at. It's like the good old boys. Excuse me, I guess that's a bad thing to say. But we're very
use your
redneck.
pronouns. No, I'm sorry. Just kidding.
Yeah, we're rednecks here, and if someone around in our area finds out that one of us in trouble, they have shown themselves where they come and, like, there was a live shooter around here. Someone came and got me and made sure I got out safe. And but yeah, I think there's a big purge going on right now as we speak.
Yeah, listen, I don't. It's funny when you watch the movie The Purge when it first came out. I forgot what year was it. Was it 2013 or 11 or 12? One of those years that it came out. You're thinking, man, that would really suck if something like that ever happened, you know. And now we're like entering something like it, and I'm not saying that we're going to see anything like we saw in a movie, but it feels like it. It just feels like we're headed down that path of like just annihilating this country every last way they can. There's so many different things going on right now. I just don't understand how we're allowing it to get to this point without fighting back or something, anything, you know?
I feel helpless. I think that conservative, it turned into like rich versus poor equals conservative versus liberals. And if you look at things, the liberals are the ones who are in charge right now, but they're also the most violent. And if you look on social media, they're actually pedophiles are being praised.
Yes.
Like and I mean,
And
what can I do about that? If YouTube or Instagram is not willing to take down that content that is not only detrimental but dangerous and disgusting, if they're not willing to take that down, and the laws are not, I mean, free speech, right? Free speech.
Right.
But I don't want to look at a pedophile being like, I like kids. You know, I want to rip them apart. But why are they not being stopped? Why is this okay? I don't understand how it became legal, and it's almost socially acceptable for pedophiles to post on Instagram, and it's like getting a lot of views and making them money and stuff like that.
Well, right. So because they came out with a term called MAPS, minor attracted person.
That's disgusting.
Right. But the fact that they came out with an acronym for it, I was just like, serious the fuck, Lee? I mean, like, are we really going down this fucking road and making this okay? The problem is they're trying to make every psychological issue okay, and they're creating more psychological issues. Like the other day, about a month or two ago, I read something about, people who don't like other people chewing, like the sound of somebody else chewing, it's a psychological condition. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, are we going to sit there and evaluate every little thing and make it a psych issue for the purpose of what? Because there are some real psych issues out there. We got people wiggling their dicks on fucking Fifth Avenue and 28th Street just because he can. And people will walk by and be like, act like they don't see it, you know? And then, like, you know, I'll walk by, I'm like, oh, put it the fuck away, you know? Or I'll say something to somebody else. Meanwhile, everybody's just walking by like this shit don't exist. And, you know, my wife has told me multiple times already, she's like, you keep it up, you're going to get shot. Probably. But the problem is that's the thinking that's making us allow this shit to happen. Because a kid's going to run into a store and steal some shit and he runs right past you. If you don't stick your foot out to trip the kid, you're part of the problem as well. You know?
I agree.
Can I say something?
A bodega, hold on. A bodega here in Queens in broad daylight was robbed at gunpoint. And the people in the store just sat there, was like, now granted, it's a gun, so it's a little, that's a little dicey of a situation to jump into, but still, broad daylight and no one did a fucking thing. We're allowing this to happen, and as citizens, it's even worse because we're allowing it to happen on our end. And then we sit there and go, what if I go to jail? Fuck it. If I tripped that kid and he went through a plate glass window and got hurt and went to the hospital, I'd take jail time for that, you know? But no one, a lot of us are scared to do fucking anything because we're afraid we might get locked up or penalized for it.
I worked in retail for 1.5 years here, and when I worked there, you would see customers stealing equipment, heavy, big $2,000 cart loads full of stuff. They'd be beeping on the way out, and we just had to watch them. We just have fun. Thank you for coming in. Have a great day. Yeah, we couldn't do anything or we'd lose our jobs.
And that was back when?
1 year ago. Not even 1 year ago. It was 6 months ago.
Okay, so that's when everything changed. Alexandra, you looking to say something?
Yeah, so going back to the whole minor attracted person bullshit, and the whole, like, I just made this video about neopronouns, just kind of to take the piss, like, laugh at it, right? I went to school today. That's why I was running late, because when I was pulling next to school, I was like, oh shit, there is a parent-teacher meeting. I forgot about it. I'm busy, right? So I went to the teacher, and I had a great 10 minutes conversation, and I asked her, I said, listen, I just want to ask you straight. What are you teaching my child in the school right now? Now that he's in the first grade, are you talking to him about this sexuality thing, or are you telling him that he can be whoever he wants? Because he's a boy for sure, right? There is no problems there, right? And so I kind of touched down on that subject. I'm like, don't teach him that stuff because it's too early. Let me deal with it. Let me teach him when I feel is appropriate, right? But she's like, no, our school don't do that, right? So this is why I still keep him there. But yeah, she actually agree with me that we talk about the whole teachers movement in United States now, like, on I don't have TikTok, but I see on YouTube, like, oh, teachers can come to me and they can get changed from a boy to girl and use different pronouns. It's bullshit. What the heck is going on? So I just want to make sure that my school doesn't do that to my child, right? He's 6 years old, and I know there's a lot of teachers creeps. And again, like, they are posting this shit on YouTube saying, they all have a rainbow hair on those piercings. They obviously look like kind of weird, no offense, but it's like, why you do all the crazy stuff around yourself? You go and teach a 6-year-old about a pride, you know no, he's 6 years old. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
you know what? I found it interesting that,
fucking
for
insane.
example, here in the city, I mean, my kids, basic shit. Remember, we used to write script, cursive, right? We don't learn that anymore. They don't learn that anymore. I'm sorry, and they don't teach them the basics. But yet, in the schools here in New York, the first day of school, they're wondering about the kids' pronouns. I'm like, what? He's fucking, I'm just like, whatever. So, my kids, they don't play that fucking game at all. But they should be focused on, curriculum. They should be focused on history, math, because we got a lot of dumbass kids running around now.
Yeah.
There are people there's a guy on YouTube, maybe it's PragerU, I think it's both actually. He goes around interviewing people, and he goes, "Hey, so where is the Queen of England from?"
I saw that.
Right?
I saw that one.
And the lady goes, he's like, "Give me one guess." I mean, like, where in England is she from? And she just like completely misses it. And
Japan?
Yeah, right. She's like, so again, we have like stupid ass kids coming out, but they're more concerned about like the neo pronoun thing that you were talking about. I'm like, what the hell are we teaching kids that they could be cats and trees now? I'm like, so listen, yeah, the fucking wheels fell off this train. The United States train is fucking derailed because the kids right now in this generation coming up, they're screwed. They're screwed. And they don't even have basic common sense anymore either. I don't know what the fuck happened, but
common sense is a superpower. It's my superpower.
You're right.
Yes,
There's
it's
no
a dying superpower because look at this new fucking thing they got going on, the NyQuil chicken challenge.
What?
Oh my god.
Yeah, they people are soaking their chicken in NyQuil and cooking it.
What the fuck?
Why?
Look it up. I have no clue. I didn't read that far because I feel like if I read that article, I'm going to become stupid or
I
stupid.
don't want to read it.
Yeah, so it's the worst thing in the world. All right, guys, so we're going to wrap it up. Wow, we actually went over an hour without batting an eyelash. We're going to wrap it up, starting in reverse with Angry Homesteader. Is there any last words or anything you'd like to say, push, or I don't know, something?
Just stay prepped. Don't give up. Keep going every single day. Don't stop.
And you're definitely right about that. My Mother Spark.
Keep prepping. Stay aware of your surroundings. Operation Pocketbook, October 31st. Log out of social media to make a stand on freedom of speech. Don't just not go on, log out, because they will still continue to get funds if you're logged in, even if you're not using it. Jason, thank you for having me. It was awesome being here with all of you guys. Some of you I watched for years. I'm so proud to actually meet y'all. And definitely stay safe.
Alexandra, you're up.
So keep prepping, guys. Don't give in to any bullshit distractions around. Don't become a sheep. And just remember, even if a big event will not happen, a slow collapse will happen because it's happening. So get yourself strong mentally, because you're gonna need it more than anything to survive anything and get through and come out on top and be somehow normal. And yeah, make sure you don't use any neo pronouns, okay? And then it's not allowed. Actually, there's a new one. I made that, okay? I wanted to remind all the neo pronouns motherfuckers out there. Your most forgotten pronoun, it's stupid, okay? That's what you're gonna use from today.
Very good.
Keep learning and keep supporting each other as a community, and don't wear a muzzle, please, and don't drink magic potion. Thanks for having me.
Anthony, you're up.
Well, watch out for TikTok because it's creating idiots that don't have an attention span longer than 3 seconds. And checking in with our addictions, because there's a lot of preparedness topics that include, there's a lot of addictions that are out there that are going to slow people down if things go sideways. So I'm really interested in that topic. I don't, drink or smoke or do any of that stuff, but I know it's definitely going to hold people back as things get more difficult. Thank you so much, Angry Prepper, for including all of us on this panel, and definitely anyone who's in chat, check out these other channels. There's some really great content there.
Thank you. Prepper Princess?
Keep your integrity, keep your enemies close and your family closer, and do nothing but love them.
Roger that. All right, guys, listen. Again, like they said, keep prepping, keep moving forward, guys. Survival Living, man. Thank you for the 2 donations, and thank you for joining us tonight. By the way, guys, again, Operation Pocketbook log out October 30th. That is the day that we hopefully teach them a lesson. Social media, that is, for free speech. A lot of other creators, other than preppers, are having an issue as well. And so hopefully this can be the start of something good. Now, guys, other than that, we will be doing another panel of females probably next month. It should be, I think, 3 or 4. I can't remember. I'm not even going to play myself and try to remember. But other than that, I'm going to get the men's panel going. That should be fucking out of control, because there are a couple loose cannons that are going to be on. But other than that, guys, listen, thank you, chat, for watching us tonight. Ladies, thank you for joining me. You guys could have easily said no, fuck that dude, but you didn't. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Jason.
I will see everybody either Friday or next week. All right, guys? See you later.
Bye. Nice meeting you guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.